The film opens and we see a fat teen boy named Jerry Garner who is leaving his school for summer vacation, and every student is happy about the closure of the school. Jerry is a lazy and dumb boy. When Jerry reaches home, he finds the promotion agent of Camp Hope, a fat lost summer camp. His parents tell him to join the camp, but he is reluctant. However, the agent shows a promotional video of the camp in which he finds some interest, but when he comes to know that the camp is for weight loss, he refuses right away. But poor Jerry is forced to join it. The next day, Jerry is seen in the plane traveling towards the location of the camp, where an air hostess puts a badge on his shirt. After that, a black boy named Roy greets him and asks if he is going to the fat camp. Jerry said no, but he says they all are fat, that's why they are going to the fat lost camp. Later, they reach the destination where Roy introduces Jerry to the other boys of the camp. After a while, Mr. Pat finally, the counselor of the camp, brings a bus and takes all the students to the location of the camp. Here, all the boys get their luggage off the bus and meet Counselor Tim and have some fun. A new nurse named Julie also arrives there and asks Pat where the infirmary is, but he finds himself frightened. Jerry helps Pat in carrying the heavy luggage while they talk about each other. However, Pat leaves Jerry among the other boys who have smuggled a lot of junk food for the whole summer camp, and they cleverly hide it in their camp. The next morning, the boys are seen having fun in the amazing water activities. At night, all the boys and staff gather in the opening ceremony, and the boys tell Jerry that the owners are amazing and they must have something surprising for them. Then we see an old couple on the stage, and they announce that they are no more the owners of Camp Hope. They are very sad about this as they got bankrupt, so they sold the camp. This news spreads instant despair in the boys. After a while, a strong man, Tony Perkins Jr., a fitness entrepreneur who is the new owner, enters the ceremony with high morale and introduces himself. His speech made all of them clear that he is a psycho person. After the speech, he replaces all the old stuff with his new ones. Moreover, he brags a lot about his achievements and no one seems to believe him. Later at the camp, Pat is told that he is no longer guarding the boys' camp as Tony has positioned his man for this duty. Poor Pat leaves the camp. Then this new counselor named Lars enters the camp and attempts to scare the boys. The next morning, we came to know that the boys could not sleep due to his bad sleeping sounds all night. However, it is announced that they are supposed to get up, and Tony is seen promoting his camp video. Later, he sets the boys on challenging exercises. After that, they took a measurement session and measured all the boys, helping to get them in the best shape of their lives, and then captures all the boys in their current shapes. Later, Tony is seen terrified in the struggle to get the maximum number of new campers while he informs the boys about the lecture on liposuction that is going to be held tonight. Then the scene shifts and we see the boys swimming in the water, and the counselor brutally pushes them inside the water. When the counselor Lars sees the nurse Julie, he tries to flirt with her, but she walks away soon. Next, Tony arranges a baseball match between the boys and the professional players. During the match, the boys have many difficulties and they also get many injuries. But Tony has no idea what he is doing with the innocents. However, at night, Tony arrives at the boys' camp to investigate and unfortunately finds all the junk food hidden there. Then he points out Jerry and asks him who is the owner of this junk food. But before he could speak, a brave boy named Josh comes in front and pulls a joke on him. As a result, he gets furious, but he tackles the situation and leaves with all the food. The next morning, the boys come to know that Josh is not among them, and it is announced that his bed is available for sleep. At the breakfast, the boys look so worried for their friend Josh as the staff has spread many rumors about him, even though someone said that he is dead. Here the situation gets worse and Jerry writes a letter to his grandmother telling him how badly they are being treated and this camp is not what it is supposed to be. He tells that Tony has spoiled everything. He tells her that his father is not even listening to him. He also tells her that tonight Tony has arranged a dance party with girls only to humiliate them. Later, everyone gathers at the dance party and everyone seems hesitant. Also, the girls are not happy with the party. When Pat talks to Julie, she tells him that some of her friends work for children's welfare, so she should give them a call and tell them about the illegal activities of Tony. Here, a beautiful girl wearing a white dress walks towards the boys and they get crazy, but she only asks about the bathroom and walks away. Then, frustrated, Tim gets in the middle of the crowd and starts dancing weirdly. Pat attempts to stop him at first, but then he gets along with him. Seeing both of them, all the boys and girls start dancing with each other and the boring party turns into a great amusement. Seeing this, Tony gets furious and orders to end the party as his plan failed. Late at night, Pat sees Jerry sitting on a broken go-kart and he tells him he thought he would be able to drive a go-kart there. He is slow, so he wants to be fast while riding this. Pat realizes his emotions and begins to push the cart on the track. In this way, they enjoyed themselves a lot and they were being noticed by Julie, who was gradually attracted to Pat. And this activity makes her more happy. After covering some distance, they bump into raw tires and fall. Then the scene shifts and the boys are seen sleeping in their camp. Meanwhile, Josh arrives there and behaves weirdly. They all get worried if he has got abnormal, but he laughs and tells them that he is fine. He says that Tony had sent him home without the refund, but his dad managed to send him again here. However, the next morning Josh shaves his beard and Jerry asks him how long he has been shaving. Then they plan to break into Tony's camp, and when he leaves for the morning walk they get inside through the window and begin to search for the candies that he confiscated. During the search, they found a locker in which he used to keep their letter. Jerry also found the letter that he had written to her grandma. Then they realize the bad intentions of Tony. He is deceiving the world by showing a skinny picture of Jerry with him. After a while, the boy outside informs them that he is near the camp, so everyone begins to arrange things and get outside from the window. But one boy is missing and Jerry finds him in the kitchen eating chocolate. They both hardly manage to get outside and Tony gets suspicious of their presence. However, they successfully escaped. After that, they caught a boy eating a burger while hiding in the toilet. They ask him where he got it. He tells them the secret that somebody brings the food and hides inside an artificial tree. In this way, all of them including Pat get a lot of food from there. After some time, Tony arranges a measurement session again and gets furious to know that every boy has gained instead of losing it. Then he shouts that they have been cheating him. And he is worried about this bad image of his camp in front of potential customers. And we see that he only records the good image of his camp. After that, he crazily talks to himself and announces that the boys must have to pay for their failure, so they must hike 20 miles with him. Hearing this, Pat interrupts, but he humiliates him for his fat also. In the evening, Pat sits at the edge of the pond and Jerry arrives here. Pat tells him that they are having a barbecue party tonight. Also, he is tired of being fat now as Tony badly humiliated him. But Jerry encourages him and finally, they both stand up with a new determination. The next day, all the boys get ready for the hike along with Tony. He informs them that they will have no food during the hike. However, they start climbing the mountain having many difficulties. After reaching the peak, Tony starts meditating for a while. In the meantime, the boys plan to make fun of him. When their plan gets successful, Tony gets furious and starts running after Josh, who has shown his giant back to him. In this way, they manage to throw him inside a big dig. On the other hand, Pat, Tim, and Joel discuss getting rid of Tony. Meanwhile, Jerry arrives there and tells them that they have got a solution and takes them along. On the way, Julie says that she is having some bad vibes, and when they see that the boys have kidnapped Tony, they get stunned. But Pat scolds them that they cannot do this at all and he proceeds to free him. But when Tony bullies him again, he changes his mind and says that now he would work to down him. This makes all of them happy, and then they catch his staff including Lars and tie them to the trees, with bare chests and honey on them. Then they change everything and make it the Hope Camp again. Josh and Sam tease Tony with a tape recording. When he gets furious, he jerks the iron cage and gets electrocuted. Later at night, all the previous staff and the boys have a great food party where they all enjoy cakes, chocolates, and beverages all night. When Pat sees the delicious food, he walks towards it, but Julie holds his hand and stops him. The next morning, they are seen sleeping on the ground and food spreads here and there. Then Pat arrives and awakes everyone and tells them to control their diets, so that everyone agrees on it and they begin healthy activities. After some days, the parents' day arrives and all the parents are welcomed. Jerry's parents say that he has not lost even a single pound. However, the parents are taken to the ceremony. On the other hand, Tony attempts to lure the little guard with chocolate and manages to get free. Here at the ceremony, Pat and Julie play the recording of Tony's worst summer camp, and all the parents come to know, but Tony, after getting free, arrives there and tells them that the video is fake and edited. Meanwhile, the little guard arrives there shouting that he has escaped. Then he bullies him and then starts bullying Jerry. He walks on broken glass and says that he is unstoppable. Then Jerry's father punches him hard in his stomach. When he tries to attack him, he is struck by Pat. After all, the Perkies tell them that they'd have to sort out everything and the parents would be refunded, but the boys tell them that they don't want to go home, so based on great experience, Mr. Perkies allows Pat to continue the summer camp. In this way, they start the real fitness camp and their boys perform well in the competitions. Jerry writes a letter to his grandmother telling that everything is fine now. Then we see that the members of Hope Camp stand first in every competition. They struggle a lot to maintain their fitness. At last, a final race between Jerry and his opponent starts and Jerry performs well. During the race, he manages to fly his go-kart and finally wins the race. On winning, he is awarded with a trophy. The opponent team claims that the trophy belongs to them, so Pat throws it into the water, and all the opponents jumped in the water to get the trophy. Everyone cheers and dances with happiness. Pat gives a kiss to Julie in front of everyone and expresses his love. Meanwhile, all of them enjoy cold drinks, and at last Jerry thanks Pat for giving him the best summer camp of his life.